super excited to have this brief bit of time with each and every one of you. And I am absolutely blessed to be on here with a couple amazing doctors. And I want to start off by introducing Dr. Melody Rodarte. She's a doctor of osteopathic medicine, board certified internist, and she's been with LifeVantage since 2014. And my first question for you, Dr. Melody, is what was it back in 2014 about LifeVantage that made you want to partner with the company and be a voice for the products?
Hi, Shawn. This is so exciting. Thanks. I'm excited to be a part of the panel tonight. So just thank you. But, in 2014, it was a total blessing. One, I was looking at the product and very thankful that someone wanted me to look at this product, but they had no clue that, I was interested in other forms of income too. When I finished residency in 2005, I stayed on for a chief year and I thought I'd want to do academics. And I thought to myself, nope, this is not for me. I really love to be in the office more. I don't want to, be in charge and be a part of a bigger hospital group. And so I joined a smaller group in 2006. And my very first day, I was so excited to be a doctor, to be on my own. And I walk in and he says, so what do you bring to the table that's going to bring cash in? Because as an internist, you're not going to make any money. You have to figure out other things that'll bring a cash flow into the office. I do, partial sigma, he does like it's like a colonoscopy, a mini colonoscopy and stress test. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not doing those. And so I started to think about other things that I can do to bring to the practice for cash flow. And that was a bummer at first, but I'm so thankful that that's what was told to me, because then I thought to myself, I have to have other forms of income. And so LifeVantage has been that. I can go into detail, but it has been a blessing, not only for me personally and my family, but also just having another, we got to dig another well before we've needed it.
I love that. I love that. We've also got Dr. Nancy Bryan on here. She is a doctor of pharmacy, nutritional formulator. She's been with LifeVantage also since 2014. So Dr. Nancy, same question. What back in 2014 made you want to partner with the company and be a voice of the product?
I'm muted, sorry. Up front for me, I really had some huge health challenges. And yes, I had been in pharmacy and in formulating and in the world of medications, but I also had already delved into all kinds of nutrients and nutritionals. But I was very sick. And I think this is important for a lot of people to know. A surfer is who actually brought this to my attention. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to be a pharmacist. You don't have to be a medical person. Just share, right? And thankfully he did. And what he did first was show me a study. And I was blown away that we actually had that LifeVantage, this product had an actual study on it as a product. And so that really captured my interest. From there, I started taking the product, and it really truly was such an impact on what happened to me that then I really felt like I had a moral obligation, and I wanted to be able to share this with as many people as possible. And from there, the rest is history. It's been just great. I just so enjoy being part of this.
Yeah, I totally agree. When we first heard about Protandim Nrf2, the studies behind it, when you're talking about, Harvard, Texas Tech, the American Heart Association, we were blown away by that. And it made us be humble really quick that we were questioning institutions like that. And the more people that we started to share the story with, the more people that wanted to see what the products could do for them. Dr. Melody, can you explain to us, because LifeVantage is a little bit different than most companies in the space when we consider ourselves the activation company. Can you tell us what activation means in light of we're not supplementing the body in something that it's deficient in, we're activating the body? What does that really mean?
Yeah, so we have these great processes in our cells that we can activate our own production of antioxidants. That's the neatest part. So many people know about supplementation. I take a vitamin C and what it does, it's supposed to neutralize a free radical, but what if you could produce your own antioxidants? And that's where this really caught my eye is, both of you had mentioned about the studies, and that's what caught my eye. I'm like, usually, people come to me and they're like, hey, can you check this out? And there's usually a white paper. But when I was introduced to this in 2014, there were 16 PubMed studies for me to look at, and I was just blown away. And it talked about activating the body's own process of releasing antioxidants. The first study I looked at, because I knew about glutathione and superoxide dismutase and catalase, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that you could activate the cell to release these antioxidants in this form with this. And that's where it was game on. Who can I share this with and what can it do? But truly, the difference is supplementation is taking it and hoping it works. Activating is getting your cell to do what it's supposed to do naturally in its own fashion.
I love that. I love that. And, as we got more and more science, like the amount of what it's activating and the different genes that are being turned in or back into the right position continuously blows me away. And as a finance guy, I usually describe it as activation is simply getting the body back doing what it was designed to do. We have an amazing pharmacy inside of our body that just slowly stops working as well as it used to. And so this is getting it back into balance so that it can do what it was designed to do. One of the things that I love in addition to that is being a business owner, having patents on the products, right? That protection, because the science is so good and it shows in the ratio of the ingredients that it does something very specific. It allowed us to get patents on the product, so you're not going to see Wall Tandem popping up anytime soon. And, I've been entrepreneurial my whole life. And that just added something extra special that I haven't seen a lot of companies be able to do. Dr. Nancy, so back in 2005, there was an ABC primetime investigative report. If you're on as a prospect and you haven't seen that, ask the person who invited you on to see that. It's amazing because most of these exposés, they're designed to make companies look bad, and ours was the exact opposite. Everything the company was claiming was proven through the science with the investigative report that happened. But can you tell us, I know in 2014, Melody alluded to the fact that there were already 16 studies out, but what's kind of happened since 2014 and since that ABC primetime investigation with studies on the products and the product lines?
Well, I think right back to your point, the fact that we had these studies on our patented products was just something that to me was just so extraordinary. You just don't see that. The other companies do something called borrowing science, if you will. They'll take a science study on a vitamin C or on an ingredient or on something else, and then equivocate it to what they have versus what we have. And what we have is continued to have studies in all different manners, everything from cellular function to understanding what is oxidative stress, what does oxidative stress mean inside of a cell, and what effects does it have on the body. And so the science that we have behind this is really true science. My background, I worked for a pharmaceutical company for a while, and that was one of the big things that we did was help doctors understand the studies. Well, what always set apart pharmaceuticals and why nutrients didn't take off so much was because it was so difficult to make them consistent. The biggest key that I think we have with what we do is in the way that we take raw ingredients and how we blend them together synergistically. We put this stuff all together. And then because of how we do it, we can make it the same over and over. That was a really big deal for us to get approval to make our claim on 40% in 30 days and reducing oxidative stress. Because when the FDA came and took a look, we were able to show that the consistency with our product, we could take those 5 different ingredients from 5 different places around the world and make them so consistent that over and over again, we got the same thing. That's what so many of our studies are there to show. And that was probably the biggest thing, as Melody and I had talked of earlier, that had such a significant impact, because there's all kinds of things out there making claims, but there's nobody that can show studies in PubMed.gov on our kind of science. And I love that.
Yeah, we've talked about that quite a bit, where, you know, other companies, they might borrow science from somebody else, or their science is just pinpointing to 1 or 2 of the ingredients.
Mhm.
We're doing the science on the actual branded product. And I love the fact that you have been a formulator of products, and you know what it takes to get these and to make sure that that quality control, and like you said, the
Mhm.
consistency is there, so you know what you're taking and the benefits you're going to get are true. So I love that aspect, and being able to partner with medical professionals like this is a huge help to me, because like I said, my background is finance, and nowhere in the realm of what your guys' expertise is. Dr. Melody, we'll go back to you here. Why does every mammal need Protandim NRF2, our flagship product?
Every mammal is aging. I mean, the root cause of aging is oxidative stress. And what we've been able to show over and over again is that we reduce oxidative stress. So if you're like me, you want to stay young as long as possible. And, you know, and so why not take a pill that is shown, you know, to be 5 natural ingredients to reduce oxidative stress, which is the leading cause of aging. So it's kind of like, in my opinion, I like to say it's a no-brainer. I don't need to make it any more difficult than that. If you want to slow down the aging process, you take this.
I love that. I love that. Oxidative stress is bad. Reducing oxidative stress is good. So you guys are all NRF2 certified now. I would have to say, like, knowing you guys for years and years and years, the distributor field, would you not agree, is aging backwards? Like, you show up at a convention, and it's like Benjamin Buttons. All of a sudden, people, you know, get into their 40s, they look better than their 30s, and 50s better than their 40s. It's truly amazing to see that these have visible effects on the body. Dr. Nancy, 2 years ago, last month, a huge new product came into the marketplace, activated liquid collagen. Now, that was already something that was in the marketplace, but LifeVantage, when we bring something to the table, we're going to have a unique way and an activation story associated with us. What is so special about the activated liquid collagen?
Well, first and foremost, I almost hate that we have to call it collagen, because that infers we're like anything else that's out there when we're not. I get so excited when I talk about it, because for the first time, we have a product that not only replenishes with 10 forms of collagen, but we also, as you said, we activate the body to make it, which is incredible abilities. And that really is important when you take a look at what goes on in our bodies. We think of collagen, of course, as hair and nails and our surface things that we see. But here's what's so incredible. When you're able to activate collagen on the inside, we're talking about connective tissues. We're talking about structure. We're talking about lots of things. To be able to get the collagen in there is incredibly difficult. And that's why it's so awesome to activate your own body to do what it's doing. And then, to me, this is the real key. We maintain the ability to keep it by slowing down a little bit the genes responsible for breaking it down. Our bodies are a yin and a yang, all about building and taking apart, building and taking apart. But the balance of that, as we get older, the taking apart starts getting way ahead. So what I really love is the fact that, you know, I call it ARM, because I love our muscles that we got from the collagen too. And that's the activation portion, replenishing and maintaining it, which is key.
I love that. I love that. And we're going to jump back here to a screen share, because I want to show you guys some before and afters. And I would like the doctors to kind of say, Here's why this is happening here. So we're going to start, unfortunately, with my picture. I was part of the trial process for 2 years. You guys have given me a hard time about this, but the reality is I didn't understand how important collagen is inside of the body. I thought it was a vanity product. And when I was involved with the trials, I took the pictures every 7 days. First week, there wasn't much change. Second week for me, there wasn't. Third week, there wasn't. But around day 25, I was blown away on what I was seeing. And we actually had an esthetician ask me if I had gotten fillers on my face lines. So why would that happen in such a short period of time?
So what we're doing, what Dr. Nancy alluded to, is we're activating collagen. And if those of you who are science nerds, go look at our study. It's just amazing because we're reducing that breakdown process and we're helping the building process. So I like to kind of use this analogy. Instead of making, like toothpicks to hold your skin up, you're doing 4x4s. And so it's lifting it up even better. And so collagen is so important for the cell structure. And so you're able to see just your forehead lines. So those are called marionettes when you were talking about around your nose and the lower jowls. It's just amazing that you can start seeing just that glow through these pictures, and you're very good at taking them, and so that we can compare them nicely. But we're activating, we're replenishing, and we're maintaining. And that's why you're getting to see results faster than being on just, a powder or a different liquid where all it's doing is collagen. You're hoping that your body can take it up and use it correctly.
I love it. I love it. So let's get my face off of there. Let's move over to the next one. Somebody will recognize their legs here. Dr. Nancy, tell us what is happening, because I think, again, like, this might be not an expectation of what normally people will think of as a benefit that could happen from taking a collagen product.
Yes, I just absolutely love that I got to post these pictures. Like Shawn, I was also privy to taking the products early, and we were told to take lots of pictures of everything. Well, needless to say, I was not honestly expecting to see these kinds of results. And in my case, with my legs, it happened in 3 weeks, which
Wow.
is insane. So one of the things when you ask, well, how is this possible? Structurally, what happens, I like to think of collagen also thinking of a pillow, and think of, as time goes on, how the pillow starts getting a little wrinkled because the filling inside is kind of getting flattened out and squished. And what I like to think of collagen also is, along with the structural parts, which are really important, it's also the filler, and it fills the cells back up again. And so that's why you see such a huge reduction in what happened with my legs, because now the not only the skin structure, but you know what, our muscle structure, all of our structure is filling in again. And you know what, all of those things are really important. Yes, we all do care what we look like. And as you see the pictures on the left, the same thing. Look at the clarity in the eyes. We forget how much collagen is in the eyes, and it plumped out the eyeball again. That as we get older, one of the first things that happens is we have our vision fail and start to diminish. That's because of collagen starting to diminish, and you're getting a shrinkage. So for me, I just love the fact that, again, that replenishment was awesome, but activating it and slowing down the loss of it was such a huge impact. For me in particular, I saw a huge advantage, and that we've heard over and over from so many people having similar results.
I love that. And one of the cool things for me is Protandim NRF2 on itself is an amazing product. Everybody should be taking it, integrated into your health strategy. That's a no-brainer. Collagen is amazing as well too, our activated liquid collagen for what it does. But those two together, and the science that shows the synergistic effect of those two, just making the results that much better is, to me, why we're seeing such dramatic results. And some of these people, they've been on other collagen products for years and years prior, and they're getting results like this because it is different, it is unique, it is doing something very specific inside the body. So, Dr. Melody, I know that one of your specialties is obesity, and stuff that comes along with that at times can be stretch marks. What do you see going on in these pictures?
Well, the nice thing is you're seeing what we were just talking about in the previous pictures too, is just the ability for not only the skin cells is that visible on the outside. Think about what's going on the inside. Every single cell needs collagen. It's how we form the structure of the cell and how it plumps up. And so, muscle needs it, our heart needs it, our gut lining has it. So when someone's losing weight, or when, you've been pregnant and that stretching happens, some of us are more prone to scarring. And that is fibroblasts that aren't functioning in the right way, or they don't have the nutrition that's needed. And so with our NRF2 and collagen put together, you're seeing that synergy in all of those cells. And so you're going to be able to see results that you may not see using just a collagen product or just NRF2 by itself. It's the synergy of the two of them put together that's just amazing.
I love that. I love that. Look better, feel better, right? And then one last one, Dr. Nancy. Again, your guys' specialty as medical professionals carries a lot more weight than mine. What do you see going on here with Michelle?
Well, and so often the things that we forget about, Melody can concur with this. When we were first told about the study of the NRF2 and the collagen together, let me tell you why we lost it so much. There's these things called fibroblasts in our body, and they control the body's response to all kinds of inflammation and issues. And what you're seeing in these pictures is a perfect example of that. You see that the elasticity and some of the skin's ability to go back to its original form again when you have the fibroblasts back in proper balance. That's what we saw that just blew our mind, because I'll tell you what, if you're seeing on the outside these kinds of things where the skin texture, the elasticity, the moisture content, the skin being able to show its moisture content again, all of these things go back to the fact that you've got a proper balance inside the cell, which is what we're talking about with every one of our products. We're talking about the activation and restoring the active, proper balance to all the cells. And as a result of it, you're not only going to look good like these pictures, but you're going to feel it too. And that's the part that I think everybody gets so excited about, is when you see that going on.
Totally. I love that. And, again, activation is very, very different than supplementation. And we've got a bunch of different pillar groups. Those aren't the only two products or product lines that we have. Really quick, Dr. Melody, can you touch on our skincare line that's activated with NRF2 technology inside of it?
Yeah, so I love that we have a clean skincare line. So many skincare lines have ingredients that you don't want to put on your skin. It's our largest organ of our body, and so when you use like the app, Think Dirty app, or some of the others that are out there, I love that you can scan our skincare line and they are like a 0, 1, or 2. And that means clean. If it's 10 and you're at Bath and Body Works or somewhere else, you wanted don't even put it on your skin, don't even wash your hand with it, all of that kind of stuff. So I love that you can scan those skincare products and they're going to be listed there. And so what's great is we have a skincare line for absolutely every skin type, because what we're doing is activating. They have the same ingredients that are in Protandim NRF2 are in the skincare line plus. So we've chosen other ingredients that are acting as activators, telling those skin cells, hey, we know that you know how to do this. Let's encourage you to function in a healthy manner. Let's return you to a healthy state. And that's the neat part about it. And it's so easy. Some of these skincare lines are 8, 9, 10 steps. And most men, they're not going to do that for sure. Women, we might, especially as we get into our 40s and 50s and afterwards. But to have a base of 4 products that does so much, and the price point, and it smells good, it's easy to talk about.
I love that. I challenge everybody on here, if you haven't ever done it before, download the Think Dirty app and then scan what you're putting onto your body and see if it's toxic to you or not. If those scores aren't, 0, 1, or 2, I would rethink what you're putting on the outside of your body, because it is being absorbed through the skin into your body. So thank you for that. Nancy, Dr. Nancy, one of my favorite products, and I've got it right here, is AgeWell. Tell us really quickly why you love AgeWell Brain Food.
Oh, I can't tell you enough. Well, first and foremost, it's nerve 2 activation that's capable of getting to our brain. And that is so essential. And really, truly, remember, I told you when I started seeing some things happen for me early on to come into this company, it was also the AgeWell, because I was seeing things in children that were having lots of struggles that I just didn't think were possible. And so, you know what, for me, I love AgeWell because it's going to give us that mental clarity. And I think my son stated it best. He always had trouble focusing in school and getting through things. And when I made him, I kind of tricked him. I said, will you take these 5 flavors and tell me which one you like the best? Because I thought if I told him what I thought it might do, he'd never take it. The next day he called me and he goes, what is this that you're giving me? And I'm like, why? And he said, it quiets the monkeys. I'm like, what does that mean? He goes, I can actually get something done now. And I can tell you it's had a tremendous impact on him over the last few years and what he's been able to accomplish that he couldn't get done before. And so I know we never can say we treat, mitigate, prevent, or cure anything, but you know what? I'll take mental clarity and sharpness and focus any day of the week. And it tastes good.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely have my favorite flavors, and I do not go a day without taking it. And most of the days it's multiple, whether it's the caffeinated or the decaf, because I truly do feel a difference. Our kids felt a difference. I will always be a huge fan of AgeWell. So one last question for each of you, as we wrap up the product side, and then I'll get into the business side. Tell me, Melody, tell me what you're excited for that's on the horizon with LifeVantage.
I'll be honest, I didn't see myself doing this long term. I just love the product. I wanted to carry it in my practice. I wanted to share, but it has become a mission. Dr. Nancy and I have been on the scientific advisory board, and I love when I tell people I don't get paid to do it. It takes time out of my day, but it's because there's something here that is like nothing else anywhere else. And the family that I have made with my colleagues and, it's just incredible. And so the mindset of always activating, that's what LifeVantage is about. What can we do better? As Dr. Nancy had alluded, like when they were saying we want to do a collagen, I rolled my eyes. I'm like, how is this going to be different than anything else on the market? I want to be different. And we did it. I say we, I didn't formulate it. We have a collagen that's an activator. And so the neat part is that is what is at the forefront. Come October, and this is near and dear to my heart, is helping people activate a healthy weight. I have gotten so upset with the weight and how people are losing it these days and not doing things correctly and not knowing what to do when they have lost weight. I'm just excited to have an option to share with people that is different than what there's nothing else like it. So that's the neat part, is if we can go ahead and help people take another control of their health in a different manner. That is so exciting for this year.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for your time, your expertise. You are a blessing to the company, the Scientific Advisory Board. We appreciate you so much. Dr. Nancy, same question. What are you just excited about that's on the horizon, the future of LifeVantage?
Oh my gosh, we have been, and this is the hardest part about being on the science advisory board. We have to keep secrets, right? This has been one that's been incredibly, incredibly difficult to keep because of my background. I've always been very, very, very involved in helping people with their overall health. And there's so many parts of what create the problems with our health. And to be able to have something that now we're going to be able to help eliminate things like terrible diet yo-yoing, things like terrible fads, things like crazy weight loss trends, because we're going to have something that's going to be in the weight management space, and I have to be careful of the words I'm using here, but the weight management space it comes back to what we've been talking about, core activating and enhancing processes in our body that are going to do things like, and I love these words, not mine, but our science board's words we can use, quiets the food noise. Wow, okay? And balancing hunger hormones. This is about things that are making you hungry all the time that are out of our control. And to be able to have the ability to activate proper pathways again to get that back under control is probably one of the most exciting and probably going to be one of the biggest impacts our company could ever have on people's overall health.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an absolute game changer.